there any chance that we as a species could encounter and create the wacky and spectacular creature that is the Sharktopus? Because I would totally go see that shit if it existed. With lots of hybrid animals being created and in existence, should we really fear the possible existence of this psycho man-eater? Well, here on AAH we're going to take a look into this bizarre concoction of animals. I am a complete zoology nerd as well, and in fact I have a first class degree in the subject from a real university, and I am going to use this to my advantage to see if I can debunk or prove the viability of a real life Sharktopus. Firstly, let's take a look at the idea of hybridizing two animals to create one that is a mix of them both. Generally this happens in captivity with animals such as the zorse and the liger, but it also happens in the wild in some rare cases. Hybrids of the blue and fin whales have been found, as well as the pizzly, which is a cross between a polar bear and a grizzly bear. What all these animals have in common is their genetic closeness. Animals are classified into different groups depending on their physical, physiological, genetic and behavioural traits amongst other things, and the more classes animals share the further down the hierarchy you go, the more related the animals become. So if we take a look at the two animals that make up the pizzly, you can see that they are classified in the same categories up to species where they're distinguished as being separate. And the same thing can be seen when we look at the blue and the fin whales. Usually to have a hybrid that can survive, animals need to be this closely related, and be in the same genus at least. Not to go into too much detail, but it's to do with having the same number of chromosomes, but I digress. Bearing this in mind, let's take a look at the two animals which I believe make up the Sharktopus. I think that it's made up of the biggest predatory shark and the biggest octopus just by looking at its size. So let's say that Sharktopus is half great white shark and half giant Pacific octopus. And now let's look at their classification. Oh dear. They're both an animalia, so we know they're both animals, and that's about it. Mollusca are invertebrates, have no backbone. Chordata are vertebrates, have a backbone. In terms of determining relatedness using this kind of classification, the great white shark is more closely related to us than it is the octopus. In real life, this animal would probably die when it was still a cluster of cells if it ever got that far. So fuck you, film. Fuck you. Okay, so that pretty much disproves Sharktopus, but let's pretend that at some point in the future, science figures out how to get around this genetic problem and boom! There's a Sharktopus. Could it exist and survive? First off, film. Sharktopus would never move like that. The shark's means of propulsion, i.e. its vertically orientated tail and horizontally moving backbone, have been replaced with octopus arms, so it would move like an octopus and not like a shark like you seem to think it would. And the fact that the Sharktopus can climb probably means that those wobbly jelly octopus arms have bones in them. There's no way Sharktopus could hold up its head and climb like this if it retained its invertebrate arms. Maybe when science makes this, they should bear this in mind. Pretty sure though that if a real Sharktopus stayed out of the water this long, it would die, so give it some of those clever octopus brains too, science, so it knows to go back in the water. Okay, so now I've got that out of the way, there is one massive, huge glaring issue that will stop any existence of a Sharktopus. You can all sleep well at night now, kids, cause it can't poop! Looking at the Sharktopus, it looks like both animals' means of pooping are missing. An octopus's anus, whatever, is situated behind its head, which is no longer there, and the shark's cloaca, where it excretes its waste, is situated near the pelvic fin at the back of the animal, which is no longer there. In fact, the octopus's mouthparts are located in the centre of its arms. So we've got two lots of mouthparts and no bums. Where does the poo go? Kinda reminds me of the human centipede. And on that note, bear in mind that this is just a bit of fun and not to be taken too seriously, and let me know how you feel about my first horror review, sort of, in the comments. Should I do this again? Should I do a proper review? Just let me know. This is all about learning. So I hope you enjoyed, and remember to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.